Without further ado, I would like to call up His Eminence Munazi Islam Hazrat Alama Shaikh Tauqir Ishaq Sahib al-Hijazi Tamar Barakatum al-Ali al-Qudsiyah. But before he comes up, let's give Shaykh Sahib a loud Hijazi warm Nara. Nara Takbir! Are you all tired? It seems to me that you're all falling asleep. Let's give Hazrat Sahib another loud warm Nara. Nara Takbir! Nara Risalah! Nara Haidari! Ulama al-Sunnah!
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واتبع سبيل من أناب إلي صدق الله العظيم. وقال الله تبارك وتعالى في شأن حبيبه مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وصلي عليه. It really is a great privilege and honor to be allowed to speak at the remembrance ceremony of a great Waliullah. I'm not sure how many people have actually met him who are sitting here, but he is a person who could change people's hearts. Every person who listened to his advice, without exception, I have seen them become successful in their lives. I have seen their children become successful in their lives. There was one mother, she came to see him and she said, please, I have many sons. I won't say how many in case you guess who this person is. Right? I have many sons, guide them all. He said, look, I can guarantee you I can guide one of them. I guarantee that. The others will see. And mashallah, watching that family, I've actually seen all of them, almost all of them guided so beautifully. So this is what you call... I have heard him giving speeches, and when you ask the audience about how was his speech, many of them said, you know, I felt that speech was directed to me. I felt that speech was for me. It was him speaking to me directly. There was once he gave a piece of food to somebody, they were eating Langar Sharif. He gave some food to somebody like you put in their mouth out of love. He did that. And there was a brother he was watching. He was very jealous. He says, why didn't Hazrat Sahib do that to me? Rahmatullah alayhi. And the next day he was really happy. And he goes, you know, last night in my dream, Hazrat Sahib came to me, Rahmatullah alayhi, and he put some food in my mouth. And And another of his specialities was that he brought Islam to life. He showed you living Islam. You can read in books and you can learn something. When you see a person practice, that is a whole different level. That is what inspires. That is what guides. That is what activates. That is what spiritualizes a person. You see Islam in practice. There's very few people I've met who I've seen who have actually, I've said, wow, this person has inspired me. And to be very honest, very few people I've met. Very few people I've met, I've given them a list of questions, please answer, and they've answered them. When I went to Hazrat Rahmatullah alayhi, I took out my list. I said, these are my questions. He said, okay. I asked the first one, and I looked at him. He goes, what's the next one? So I went down the list, and when I finished, he goes, have you finished? I said, yeah. He said, okay, I know all the questions now. Come next week, and I'll answer them. So many meetings like this I've had, and I thought, I've heard this again, come next week, and nothing happens. So I was very disappointed. Doesn't matter, I came back next week, went to his office. I'm not sure if you've seen pictures of his office. Lovely little room, books everywhere. And I sat down, I saw a pile of books on his left with yellow stickers sticking out of the pages. He goes, Tauqir, your first question was this? I said, yeah. What is this book? I said, Sahih al-Bukhari. He goes, turn the page, first yellow sticker, what's this? This is the, I said, I've never seen this hadith before. He goes, well, that's not my problem. Why are you telling me that? I'm showing you now. Next question, is your question answered? I said, yeah. Next question, here. Next book. He goes, which is this? Sahih al-Muslim. Is this the answer? It's like he was bringing the Prophet's words, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right in front. And saying, he's speaking to you, here's your answer. And halfway through, I said, I don't need to see any more references. Wherever you say, I'm going to believe it. And trust me, at that time, I wasn't an easy person to convince. Well, even now. Now I've changed quite a bit, despite what you hear. There's a little bit of dust in the room, I think. Because the people I had met, I'll tell you why, people I had met, I was so disappointed with them. I'm thinking, is this Islam? This person can't even speak properly. Is this Islam? He can't even quote Quran properly. He can't even translate properly. He doesn't even know deep Islam properly. There's no nur about his face. Is this Islam? And when you get all of that together in one person, you think this is Islam. When someone describes to you the people of Kahf, Ahlul Kahf, and they describe them in a way that they've met them, you think this is Islam. I just want to finish with a couple of very, very simple points, and I'm going to do my best not to quote Quran. Because people always say, prove this, prove that, prove everything. We say, right. You quote Quran, even that's not enough. So, one thing Hazrat Rahmatullah alayhi, he said, look, everything that's good, everything that's Islamic, a good person automatically does. Right? And let's prove it now. Let's prove zikr. That's one thing people have an issue with. Let's prove zikr without mention of any Quranic verse, any hadith. To prove it's the right thing to do. I'm not stuck. I'm just looking at your faces. Look at the word Allah. Where does the word Allah start from in your bodies? It starts from your chest. It starts from your heart. When you say Allah, you can feel in your heart in your chest. That's where zikr starts from. And then you breathe out as you're doing dhikrullah. Saying the word Allah proves the zikr of the Sufiya. The other issue people have, why you kiss your fingers, why you kiss this, let's address that. No Quran, no Hadith. Let's prove it's the right thing to do. You kiss a black stone, fine. So when you kiss a black stone, you put your lips together and you touch them on the black stone. Or you kiss your thumbs, put your lips together, put them on your thumbs. Kiss your daughter, kiss your son, same. So, when we say the Prophet's name, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we kiss our thumbs. Well, I say it's the right thing to do, everybody does it. They say, no, I don't do that. I say, you do. Say the word, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How many times do your lips come together? MashaAllah, it's switching on now, isn't it? Twice. With the meme, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Twice you kiss. Once isn't enough. Twice you kiss. So those people who object, I'm sorry, every time you say the Prophet's name, peace be upon him, you are already kissing. You're already showing your love. The name demands a show of love. What about Milad? Again, they worry about you celebrate this, celebrate that, you can't do Milad. I'm doing my best not to quote Quran or Hadith. I'm doing my best, right? Verses are coming, I'm not going to mention them. I might make a mistake and mention it. It's not a mistake, it's a good thing. But anyway, Milad, celebration of the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One person objected to this. I said, listen, your father celebrates your birth? He goes, no, he doesn't. He's against it. I said, really? So when you were born, was he upset? I said, he's upset now. Did he go around giving the qurbani saying, Astaghfirullah al-Azim, I'm so upset. My wife had a baby boy, honestly, astaghfirullah. Here's some meat, it's haram, don't eat it. Everyone celebrates. So why are you suddenly objecting to one celebration of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So it's a natural thing to do. It's the right thing to do. You see, you haven't quoted Quran, haven't quoted Hadith. The other objection, 12th Rabiul Awwal, prove that was the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It should be 8, it should be this, should be that. Whatever you want, that's fine. But I'll prove it's a 12th. Now we have something called kalima tayyiba. It's a formula of our faith. It proves our iman when we say and when we practice. The first part, La ilaha illallah, this is actually part of Quran, but it's kalima tayyiba. Second part, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Each of these have 12 letters. Now these 12 letters aren't just by accident. We do things by accident. We write something, oh look, I've got 786 commas in this document. Wow, that's by accident. Didn't design that. But the Quran is not an accident. Every single letter is designed. Every single letter has a purpose. Every single place has a purpose for this letter. So, when Allah puts 12 letters in this, the first part, and 12 in the second part, it can only be to honor Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and honor the date of his birth. So every time you say kalima tayyiba, you are honoring the day of birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Finally, I've got loads of these, right? But finally, the other issue people have, you can't ask anybody for help except Allah. One of the people who said that to me was actually a doctor. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, so you see 0 patients, do you? When patients come to you, you say, get out. Go to the mosque, do wuzu and pray. Is that what you do? Didn't I see you at the garage the other day with your car? Wasn't that haram? Shouldn't you have taken the car to the mosque? Did wuzu on the car, put it inside? And you're a doctor. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. So you've actually committed quite a few bid'ahs and harams and shirks, haven't you? You can't get through life without getting help from somebody. That is Allah's system. Every good, decent person does that. So I think I've shown a little bit. It's common sense. Good Islam, or Islam, is common sense. Practice of Islam, the Sufi way, the Muslim way, the Mu'min way, the right way, is common sense. And I guarantee every single issue, every single practice of our Aqidah, you will find. It's a right thing to do. It's a natural thing to do. You can prove from Quran, you can prove from Hadith, you can prove from good practice, from being a good person, you can prove that. And the person who opened my eyes to this, who opened my heart to this, who opened my soul to this, Hazrat Allama Pir, Abdul Wahab Siddiqi, Rahmatullah alayh. And just one more thing, he passed away just after 4:05 on the 18th of March, 20 years ago now. And when we buried him, those people who were around, it was very windy. But around the Mizar Sharif, a hole in the clouds was open and the sun was shining through. And I remember I was looking around, everywhere around me was wind and was rain. But this particular place right in front, the sun was coming through, there's literally a round hole in the clouds. Yes, it's true. And when it was 4:05, I was actually in the Mizar Sharif today. And I remembered the wind was exactly the same. I remembered this was exactly what it was like. And as soon as we put the last bit of cement on the grave covering, then that hole in the clouds just closed up and it went. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us and guide us. Ameen wa akhir da'wana.